Now that Season 10 is officially out and we can play Venture whenever we want, I think it's safe to say that I was completely wrong about them in my initial reaction video. Now that I've had more of a play around with them, I can safely say that they are one of the heroes you should absolutely learn because of how strong they truly are, how fluid their gameplay feels, and simply how fun it is to play them. They're so unique in playstyle that it feels like a breath of fresh air playing them. They're not just another soldier or another tracer, but their own character entirely. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a few tips on how you can get good at playing Venture so that you can go out there and absolutely destroy your opponents. From playstyle to ability economics, by the end of this video, you should have a bit more of an inkling on how to play Venture effectively. But first, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. I also want to take a moment to advertise that memberships have gone live. With memberships on this channel, you'll get access to some BTS stuff, videos as soon as they've been edited, shoutouts in videos, priority replies to comments, and some really cool channel badges and emotes. They're only $2.99 a month, but don't feel as if you have to become a member. YouTube is free for a reason, only pay for what you feel is worth it. Now, let's actually get into this video. First things first, kit breakdown. Because it's much better to know what heroes do before you go in completely blind. Venture's gun is a short distance rock launcher which fires projectiles that explode on impact, similarly to Sigma, just without the ricochet. They have two main abilities, Burrow and Drill Dash. Burrow allows them to go underground, giving them the opportunity to sneak around the backline or get out of conflict. When emerging from Burrow, you can charge it up to deal extra damage and launch yourself higher into the air. Drill Dash is kind of self-explanatory. It allows you to dash forwards with your drill, dealing damage and knockback to enemies in your path. When used in Burrow, it does the same thing, but goes onto a shorter cooldown. Base cooldown when on the surface is 8 seconds, but in Burrow, it's cut in half at 4 seconds. This brings me on to my first tip for learning how to play Venture, and that's to balance your ability usage with one another. For example, if you're going in and rushing the enemy team, make sure you have dash ready for Burrow, because then A, you get in faster, B, you deal damage in your Burrow whilst it isn't much, and C, when you emerge, the cooldown timer for Drill Dash will already have practically ended, allowing you to get in another Drill Dash and deal even more damage. Not to mention, every time you use an ability, you gain an additional extra bit of overhealth, maxing out at 325 total health when both abilities are used, 40 gained when Drill Dash is used, and an additional 35 when Burrow is used. Yeah, they're actually quite a beefy DPS. I think it's all those rocks they've been eating. My second tip for learning how to play Venture is to take a mixed passive-aggressive playstyle. Kinda like Tracer in a way, I suppose. By passive-aggressive, I don't mean like this tweet, I mean like you can play passively sometimes, but other times you should get aggressive to secure the kills. Just like how you'd rush in as Tracer with Blink and mow down an enemy. Venture finds so much value out of being a hero with mainly movement-based abilities because not only does it allow them to get onto the off angle in teamfights, but the movement abilities deal damage, meaning that if Venture wants to deal the max amount of damage as they can rush up, get aggressive, and profit off of it with barely any consequence. Play passively to charge your ult and do poke damage, then go in to absolutely melt the enemy team with your melee combos and ultimate from the off angle. That brings me on to my third tip for learning how to play Venture, and that's to learn the extent of your ult, Tectonic Shock. The best way to describe this ult is Reinhardt's Shatter but without the stun. Each blast does 130 damage, so it only takes 2 blasts to kill heroes that aren't tanks. Now, like Shatter, on Escort, Tectonic Shocks can actually go underneath the payload, so you can use that to your advantage, but that's only in specific situations. Most of the time, you're going to want to target squishies with it on the off angle where they're least expecting it, because it makes it way harder to shut down. Think of it this way. If you're trying to kill a spider in front of you because you're deathly afraid of spiders, are you going to notice the other spider coming up behind you? Probably not, no. It's just human nature to have tunnel vision when you're locked in, so take advantage of that. My fourth and final tip for learning how to play Venture is to simply learn the maps, because it will benefit you when you're escaping teamfights in Burrow. Now, obviously knowing a map is going to give you an upper hand on pretty much every hero, but with Venture it's absolutely paramount because you can't be healed in Burrow. But you can pick up health packs, so knowing where those are is super handy when you're low in Burrow. Not only that, but since your entire kit is super movement based, knowing where the flank, off angle, and areas where you can easily disengage are gonna give you a huge upper hand, because it means you can both get kills and stay alive a hell of a lot easier in these teamfights. But that just about does it for this video. So what did we learn about Venture? We learned that to maximize their damage potential, you have to use their abilities in tandem with one another, as it also means they'll stay alive a lot longer due to the fact that they're using abilities to grant overhealth. Using both abilities allows you to get on the off angle and rush in a lot easier, making space for you to play in and get kills by sandwiching the enemy team between yourself and the rest of your team. They're very much a get out hero, much like Tracer and Doomfist, but they're super strong and can very easily get kills by playing like this, barely ever seeing any punishment. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video, as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Hopefully you learned something from this video, and if you did, then consider subscribing for more tips and guides. I've almost got a guide for every hero now, we're just down to the final few. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.